Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Whitman Gaming. Now, if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe and hit that bell button so you will get notified. Now, let's talk about the best question that always been asked, or maybe you always ask to yourself: Am I a good player? Now, most of you will probably look at the win rate of the player, but I suggest don't do that. There are some player who plays really bad in their first 10k battles, and then after reaching 11k battles, they're starting to unlock their full potential. So they're transforming from a worse player to a unicum player, even though their win rate is just around 49%. So the question is, can you become a unicum even you don't reach 60% win rate? Yes, you can. Unicum status is actually based on your win 8. I don't know how it's pronounced. Is it pronounced as WN8 or win 8? But I just say that I just pronounce it as win 8. So if you want to know your current win rate, just please go to this link that I provide below. Just select the server you are in, then search your IGN. Both win 8 and win 7 has a 10 color scale to tell what kind of player you are. So what is the win 8 and what is the win 7? Well, the win 8 is the expected performance per tank, while the win 7 is the expected performance per tier, and both of these is not based on your win rate. Doesn't matter if you lose the match or if you win the match. Example, in win 8, let's say you are playing the Tiger 1, and expected damage for the tank is around 1200, but somehow in every match you manage to pull up to 2k damage. Even though you lose, your win 8 will still increase. Note that win 8 is based on the server you are playing. So if most of the player using Tiger 1 has only managed to make up to 600 damage, and somehow you pull up to 1k damage, then expect your win 8 will increase easily. However, on win 7, it's the absolute value and not based on the tank, but based on the tier. I mean, the absolute value is it's actually not based on the server you are playing it. It's actually based on the overall. It means the NA, the EU server, the Russian server. That's it. Let's say on the tier 7, the average damage should be 1200, disregarded on what tank you are using. But we are just focusing in the win 8 since it's enough to tell if you are a good player. Now let's start with there is a 10 color scheme to tell what kind of player you are. If you are in this black to red color, which means your win 8 plays around 0 to 449. If you are in this level, I suggest you stay in the lower tier and play more of the tier 3, tier 5, and don't rush your progress. Just learn the basic because at this rate, you are playing like a bot. Now, if you are at that dark yellow state, it means your win rate is around 450 to 649. At this rate, you are starting to learn and become more active in battle. However, you are just slightly better than a bot. You are below the average. So again, stay in lower tier and learn the game. Now, if you are in this light yellow state, it means your win 8 is now slightly increased. Your win 8 is now around 650 to 899, which is the average. At this rate, you have an idea on how to play the game and you starting to improve. And most of the people at this state is actually a new player who is starting to learn, and probably it's their first time in the higher tier, which is most of the tank in this tier. It's either having super speed, a derp gun, super strong armor, or accurate gun, or sometimes have both. It's a totally culture shock for most of the player. So forgive those players. But if your total battle is more than 8k and you are still at this stage, probably you never learn from your mistakes. But if you are a new player and you are now at this rate and still playing the tier 5, I suggest you go to tier 6. Go around tier 6 or the tier 7 and stay there until you get better. Now, if you are on the light green, congratulations. You are now above the average. Your win rate is now between 900 to 1199. Somehow, you're starting to become better. You can now do a lot of damage in battle and you are now hitting the expected performance for the tank you are using. Somehow, they're still missing. Probably most of the time you die quickly. The reason for that is you have an idea on how to play the tank, however you don't know where to position the tank. And most of the time, you have a problem on your map. You don't have enough of awareness, so you always get cornered by your enemy. Now, I suggest you try to watch more of the pro replays and a suggestion from most of the pro, so you know where to engage in battle. Now, if you are on the dark green color, which means your win rate is now around 1200 to 1599, means you are a good player. I mean, this is the type of player that is very good as a platoon mate. Besides, they have now a large knowledge in the tank. Most of the player at this rate is actually player who has a lot of battles. So they have now a large knowledge of the tank they are using. And also they have an idea where to go at the start of the battle. And most of the time, this is the type of player you wish you have in your team. They are now a good support player. However, it is also their weakness. At this rate, most of these players are still relying too much to his or her teammate to win the battle. But don't be disappointed. You are now have the caliber of a good player. Light blue, which indicates your win rate, is now between 1600 to 1999. At this rate, you are above a good player, which sounds good. You are starting to be more independent. You are now the type of player that can turn the tides of battle. However, there is something missing. You have a very poor survival rate. Yes, you can turn the tides of a battle, but somehow you have a problem in decision making, like when to go aggressive and when to go defensive. And most of the time, you are not the top damage dealer in your team. Again, don't be disappointed. Keep on practicing. You are almost there. Now, the dark blue will now indicate you are now above the 2k win rate. And congratulations, you did it. You now reach this level. You now reach the first level of becoming a best player. Just imagine in Dragon Balls, you will reach the Super Saiyan 1. Something like that you have unlocked a great potential in you. This is what we call the tournament caliber of player. According to Wargaming. You are now a very formidable player. You are now a great player, and most of the time you win a duel. You even win a 2 versus 1 battle. You also bring a lot of damage in every battle, and most of the time you are the top damage dealer. You have a large knowledge in different tanks and strategy. However, there's still something missing. Most of the time, you are caught off guard. Based on my experience, player at this caliber is most likely aggressive. This is the reason why they can make lots of damage. Most player in this rate doesn't have a good balance between offensive and defensive strategy. Now, if you have a light violet color, it means that you are now a unicum player. At this rate, you have a win rate between 2,450 to 2,899. You are now what we call the almost perfect player. You have now a perfect balance between the aggressive and defensive strategy. Yes, you can win every duel, you can switch the tide of battle, and most of the time, you actually win. This rate, you have a large knowledge of different tanks, just like the great player. But you still have a problem in playing different type of tanks, which causes your damage to drop and stopping you from going beyond. This is just based on my experience. As right now, I started to reach this level. However, in some tanks, I have a problem reaching its full potential. That's stopping me from going beyond. Now, if you have a dark violet color, this means you reach the legendary Super Unicum status. With a win rate above 2,900, this is the type of player that beyond everyone. They can win every battle with ease. Their tactics is so smooth. Usually, this player is also the player that playing this game for too long, giving them large amount of time to master the game. This is what we call the God tier. So that's all. I hope you learn and good luck in improving yourself and adios, Commander.